Hey, welcome to Starfield. What they don't tell you, and what you should probably know. So, in this video, we will cover ship construction and design. Well, not really design. I'm a ship designer, but you know, hey, what I found out in building my own ships and what I needed was very important. You can design a ship any way you want to. Construction of a ship, as in, you know, what do you need, the necessities. It all depends on what you're doing. You know, for smuggling, you want a shielded cargo container, which you can find in the Prima system on the, what is it? Prima 3, it's the Red Mile? It's something like that. Anyway, for cargo runs, you want basic cargo. You want the biggest cargo that you can find. This particular ship that's I'm editing currently is off the Mantis quest line, and I'm upgrading it to the standards that I have currently, which is about C stuff. So the best stuff that you can get, but the stuff I'm putting on it, even though it says C, it is not the best C stuff there is. Later on, some of the best stuff that I found for C stuff has been on Aquila. Now, there might be other locations, but Aquila is where I go to get like my engines and certain weapons because they hold out pretty well. Other than that, you want to design your ship for your necessities. So your workshop, it has a spacesuit modifications, weapon modifications, and it has a research terminal, industrial place to make your industrial materials, anything like that. Of course, you want a place where you can make food, you know, for when you're on the go. So that's what the cabins are for, the crew cabins and stuff. They always have a galley in there, and you can just fix a ton of food or whatever and feed everyone for the rest of their lives. And if you want to look cool, you can have an armory and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of other modules that you can find. There's a engineering bay, which I never put on because it's too big sometimes, and I haven't made a ship that big yet. Saying that, my my main ship is actually really big in comparison to the Mantis here. It's one of those, it's the ship that I use most often for combat, and it has 5,000 cargo space. So, in using it in the way that I do, it's good. It's good. Now there's a whole bunch of other stuff like you can do. So there's smuggling, there's cargo runs, but I haven't gotten into that stuff. I'm more of the combat type of person when it comes to the video game. I mainly want my ship to look as cool as I can make it, even though I'm terrible with designing a ship. Like, my main ship, I call it the Copus Ranger. It's okay looking, but the Mantis here actually turns out a lot better looking, and it's a ship that I will probably never ever use. The only reason I'm editing the ship is just for this video in particular. I feel kind of bad about that. Went through so much trouble to get it, and when I had gotten it, it just wasn't worth using. My ship that I had was better, even though at the time I think I was still in A and B stuff. It just let's see if I forgot anything. You want to try and keep your mobility up as much as possible. You want to try and keep that at 100, because it makes a difference. If you doing cargo, you don't need a fast ship, but you need to be able to dodge the fire to get away from like pirates, or if you're doing smuggling, away from you know, the UC or the Freestar collectives. So a good hull and a good shield also helps. So when you're developing your ship, what adds to your hull is the structural pieces. So like one of the Deimos pieces, and I do eventually put it on here on the for the engines and stuff, that adds hull. and you can see it in the left corner here, what adds to your ship's hull and stuff. The more you can put on it, the better, but try not to weigh yourself down to where you're just like a turtle sitting. Like if you have a mobility of like 2, you might want to rethink your life choices, because it will be a bad day. A very, very bad day. So from here on out, I'm just going to let you watch the video for the ship construction. Then when we get to the next section, I'll hop back on and I will explain outpost development and then skills from there. So enjoy. Here's my Copus Ranger. It's decent. I designed it poorly this time around. This is my test save. So when I upgraded to C class on this save, I ended up kind of messing it up, I guess, because there's only so much you can do with the materials on certain planets, like when you go to a vendor and buy new ship parts, or on an outpost. There's only so many engines that you can find, and to get it to and from those locations is easy, but it's the flying around and having to go there. Like, there needs to be like one place you can get all this stuff from, even if it's at like a more cost. But this is how it turned out in the end, and I'm kind of happy with it. Not really. Now to the outpost and development. What to look for. This first outpost here was my very first one, and I made it large because I thought that's kind of what I needed. That is not what you need. Here there's nickel, iron, and cobalt. You don't need like 2 iron mines on 1 iron deposit. You just need 1 iron mine. Same with the nickel and the cobalt. You just need 1. You can put multiple for faster resource production, but you need the solid container to put those resources in, and which is fine and all, but you've got to be, a little careful how you do it, or you run out of space in your little outpost. Schrodinger is my last outpost that I made. I'm still working on it, so it's not completely complete yet. This is more of a fun little outpost that I have. I wanted it just to raise animals in, and yes, you can raise animals if you have the animal husbandry skill, which I'll get into that later. So I want to grow plants here. I want to basically just have this to be like my little away from all the other factions place. No one else is out this far, and this has like the highest stuff that I can get for outpost development. So I have reactors, but I don't have the most advanced reactor, and they give a lot. Then I have, I have the animal husbandry places, and then I have tier 3 turrets, 6 of them, and 2 security bots with 1 power management bot. That's kind of how I do it, unless I'm manufacturing like iron and stuff or pulling it out of the ground. Then I use one of the other, like the mining bots. You can do it any way you want to, of course. What I'm doing here is just looking through stuff, apparently. Yeah, animal husbandry stuff. Best you can get right there. And I already have 2. So you need to input them, the devices and stuff, generators, chlorine mining facility, or for gas. And like I said, you can put like multiple on one place if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. You only need like 1 or 2 on the deposits, like, and not next to each other either, unless you just want to have them lined up in a way, which is fine. I mean, everyone has their own way of how they want to build. For me, I just learned, if it's not needed, don't waste your materials, because then you're out of luck later on when you need those materials or something. Yeah, and you connect that to a gas storage, put a large down, and it'll allow you to collect it, and from there you'll be able to use the inner system, like make an output link from there to there. And there's a way you should get the output from the inner star, or inner system star, whatever, to one of the other blocks or whatever. I think it's from something I just don't have built right now. I don't have all the answers. I will say that I don't. but you can basically make it so it's autonomous, which is nice. And yeah, make sure you always have a landing pad where you customize your ships. That's one thing that I would always put down regardless. I think this should just about cover base management. If I left anything out and you have questions, comment down below for sure. Skills and you, what you need to know. Everything is locked behind a skill except for the guns. Stealth, yeah, if you don't have that skill unlocked, you can crouch and pretend like you're being stealthy. Even if you have the mantis suit that turns you invisible, yeah, you're not gonna do anything stealthy at all. Everything is kind of locked behind it in certain ways, like persuasion. Persuasion is, how you persuade people. Intimidation, diplomacy, deception, instigation, outpost management is needed. Negotiation. A lot of these come in handy later down the line. Manipulation, for one. You can force somebody to do what you want them to do. Gastronomy is for food. Commerce is for buying and selling. Theft, pickpocketing, which it's kind of easy. Your weapon skills, like I said, they're not locked. You can use all the weapons in the game without having a skill. They do offer bonuses to damage and stuff, so they're good to have later down the line or even early on. For science, you want to work on researching. You want to make sure you get all that nice research out, man. You want to make sure that you can build what you can build. Weapon engineering, spacesuit design, that stuff is for modifications. Outpost engineering, zoology, they're all linked to either a research thing or they're linked to stuff you may need eventually, especially when you're designing a spaceship. Planetary habitation, that's necessary for building on planets where you couldn't have it built, like extreme conditions, like no atmosphere and stuff. For your tech, now the booster here, boost pack training, that is locked. You can't use a boost pack unless you have it. Piloting, you can pilot any ship except for a B or C class until you get those ranks unlocked. Securities for pick locking your digis or whatever they are. Digipicks, there you go. Starship design, that's needed for installation of experimental ship modules, which they can really help you. Now, the missile systems and weapon systems and stuff like that, you can still use those. Only thing they do now is give you more damage or more speed, more boost. Like all the ones that I'm going over here now. That's what they allow you to do. Starship engineering allows you to have more ship stuff on your ship, basically. Nah, I think I messed that up, but still. Piloting, starship design, and engineering are very important when you're building a starship. The other stuff is for either damage, help you with your boosters, or stuff like that. They're not as important, but later down the line, you will most likely use them a lot. So, yeah, the occasional resist 100% damage. It's fantastic. It works. So, with that is the end of this video, and I would like to ask you to, like, subscribe, and leave any comments, any questions. Go ahead. Feel free to ask. I will look into it.